Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're continuing on with our Power BI Alternative series. This time we are taking a look at Pentaho. So I've had a few requests to cover this tool since I started this series, so I really wanted to get to it, but there is a lot to unpack around Pentaho. Let me tell you. It's call it a fairly complex platform. And so anyway, and they have some stuff in here. None of this really means anything. So, and I don't know if it's even open source technically anymore. It seems to be owned by Hitachi. So here you can see I'm on the Pentaho website, pentaho.com, and it says Hitachi and Hitachi Ventera are registered trademarks of Hitachi. So apparently they own Pentaho now. So I'm not sure if it's open source or what. But anyway, they also have a modern slavery transparency statement, which is okay. That's the first time I think I've seen one of those. I don't know if Hitachi has had some problems with modern slavery in their supply chain. Apparently, maybe I don't know, but it seems like something I've not really seen too much on too many websites these days. Their website, I was able to download their tools. It's really annoying. They ask for a bunch of information, which I will assure you is all filled out correctly. We've got phone numbers and stuff in here that I have to supply. And you say this, but then you say, today it's not working. Like I've tried like 20 different times to download this. And normally what happened is you click the download now and you get there's a page that, more information that shows up here where you can go and download the stuff. Now, apparently it's not working today. So yeah, typical, right? Open source. But no, and then the really annoying thing though is if you download just one of them and then you kind of come back later, you have to fill out all the information again, right? It's not like you have constant access to it. So that is super annoying. The other annoying part about this is their licensing page. So if you go to pricing up here, and it's a pricing page that has no prices. Come on, guys. I guess you can try it for free. That takes you to that download page and all of that sort of thing. Or there's you can try the enterprise version as download. This is the community version over here that I was downloading essentially. But again, people, come on. It's the modern age here, man. Don't be all shady about your licensing. Just tell us what it is. We're big people. We're adults. We can handle it. So let's get into it. It's fairly easy to install. It's just zip files that you unpack. So you can see this is Pentaho Report Designer, Pentaho Aggregation Designer, some Hadoop thing, data integrations, metadata editor, right? I forget what that one is. And then there's a server in there, Pentaho server. You can see that up there after the SDK stuff and all that. What is this one? Let's check it out real quick. Oh, Schema Workbench. That's right. Schema Workbench. So there's a lot to this platform, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that you can install that you get access to on that kind of community edition. And so what I have done is I've gone ahead and unpacked a lot of that. So you just basically unzip it. I've just created a Pentaho folder, and you can unzip it into here, and you can run Report Designer, which the first thing I noticed when I got in here, if you can see it, it's the Java Duke. Yep, that's who that icon is. So I'm already immediately thinking to myself, okay, this gives me the vibe of like early to mid 90s, right? That this is what I'm going to be getting with this file or with this program is basically something that was created in the early to mid 90s and probably hasn't been updated since. And lo and behold. So let's just run this. It actually came up on my other screen. It doesn't allow me to move it, but it will start up. There we go. And here we are. So here we are in Pentaho Report Designer. And it looks like to me, is that and normally, oh yeah, it comes up with this right here. Report wizard or new report. Now, first thing off is the 1990s called and they want the reporting software back, right? I mean, this just screams 1990s to me. And what's more is like, I don't know who ripped off who first, but this seems like an exact clone of SSRS, right? SQL Server Report Server, right? And services and the report builder. That like the original even like Power BI report builder is still this same. They kind of sort of put some lipstick on the pig, but it's still the same thing, right? And it's exactly this, right? Oh, you got a report wizard, right? And oh, I mean, this looks so amazingly like it's just crazy to me, right? So I can do a report a template, a report document, no template, and then next, and yeah, we'll just use a sample query here. We'll say next. It's his report builder, man. It's crazy to me. I mean, so I don't know if like Microsoft saw Pentaho and then ripped it off and was like, oh, we can write that in Windows, or if Pentaho saw like report designer and said, we can write that in Java. I don't know. I don't know which one came first. I'm betting that SSRS came first, but maybe not. Maybe somebody has all the details on that. This is literally the exact same interface. It's insane to me, which screams paginated reports, right? And first off, I can't say that this is a replacement for Power BI if it's just paginated reports, because paginated reports aren't super interactive, right? That sort of thing. I should be able to, in theory, right? Maybe if I click on something like report folder, report details, buy price, like, can I add? You can add, bar sparkline. So I'm sure that if I played around with this enough, there's probably a design view, right? So I can run it, right? Even the icons are the same. I mean, it's crazy to me. Yeah, I mean, it's a ripoff of Paginated Report Builder. That's what it is. That's how I view this. So, I mean, so I don't know how much I want to spend getting to know this product, right? Because of that. Now bear with me because you can do complex things with it. So Brian Julius let me know that this diver system, which I'll show off here in a minute, is built on Pentaho. But sticking with the tools themselves for right now, like these icons look like they're actually semi-decently sized. Maybe I can, but then the rest of their tools, like that's the best that's the best of the tools from what I can tell. Like the rest of the tools are, if I go up here, no, and I go to let's do like metadata editor. And metadata editor, we run the Windows batch file. It was funny too, because when I ran most of these, they were like, Windows came up and was like, hey, we prevented a bad program from doing stuff bad on your machine. So yeah, I mean, again, it's the same Eclipse thing. It's like these guys were these icons are look at all the tabs I have. Like I'm used to dealing with small icons. Like, okay, but this is ridiculously small, right? This is insanely small. I have to zoom in just to figure out what is going on here, right? So I don't in like Eclipse was the same way. It's like all these Java programs were like created back in the mid 90s when like the biggest screen resolution was 1024 by 768, right? So these were fine, but like they've never been updated since to account for larger screen resolutions, right? So it's just when I see stuff like this, it just immediately turns me off about the tools. And so they all are kind of work that way, like schema workbench, data integration. So data integration, let me run this one. It's called Spoon. Don't ask, no, not the icon file, Greg. It's the other file, not the ping file. There we go, Windows batch file. So it opens up a little command prompt on my screen, opens like a window that I can't change and show you guys on my other screen. And then it should eventually pop up here. Here we go. So this one looks a little bit more modern. So it's again the same crazy icons here, but then the transfer, like if I do file new transformation, right? I have a bunch of inputs that I can do over here. So this is basically my understanding of this is how I have a bunch of outputs, right? So basically my understanding is that this is how I would take data in and then transform it. So, but everything's in kind of none of it seems to be super integrated. I have a tool for doing data integrations. I have a tool for doing this. I have a tool for doing that. I have a tool for doing this other thing. So none of it seems super integrated or super modern. from what I can tell. Again, it all gives me that 90s vibe. But can you do complex things with it? Yes, yes, you can do complex things with it. So this, my understanding from Brian Julius, who's apparently has a guy that he knows that helped write the diver system. Basically, this entire reporting system was designed on Pentaho. So it was originally my understanding. It was originally created to help with the Deepwater Horizon restoration. Um, but if I click on like Great Lakes here, right, this diver, I don't know how much customization they went into this to be able to do this, create this. But if I go to like field sample status, and then maybe I'll go down to study name, say load. Maybe I'll pick some stuff, right? I don't know what all I'm picking, but then I run it. Right, so there we go. So apparently some records were found. I can sort of, oh, let me see if I can zoom into this. It wants to mouse wheel and zoom at the same time if I scroll too quickly. But I can go in here. Oh, Cornwall. Okay, so now I can click on one of these points, trying to get information about it. Gives me the table. I can do data and export, Kalamazoo River watershed. Gives me some charts about it. And if I click on the charts, I'm assuming this must be the row. Maybe that's the row. I don't know why some of these are highlighted. These are highlighted because of that. I guess that was one of the rows that I highlighted apparently. I don't know if any other rows were highlighted. Just that one. So it's semi kind of interactive, I guess. Like it goes and applies filters. Maybe. Not quite sure. Has study notes, records. I mean, it's a pretty obviously it's a pretty big data set that this thing is processing, and it seems to be pretty fast doing it. But yeah, I'm not sure just how interactive or I mean, again, you can do complex things with it. I don't know how much work had to be put into this to be able to present this data out like this. But again, it kind of gives me that whole 90s kind of vibe. So yeah, so I don't know if I would I don't know how much more I'm going to look at Pentaho. Again, it seems to me that what it really is designed for is paginated reporting and doesn't really present a real alternative to Power BI. You got separate tools for a lot of different things. Seems like a fairly complex platform. You can do fairly complex things quickly. I'd have to really sit down with it and do some stuff in Report Designer and then publish out to the Pentaho server and go down that route. And I just didn't have enough time to really dig into it that much. But if anybody wants me to, leave me some comments and say, hey, I'd like you to do a deeper dive on Pentaho. At this point in time, from what I've seen of it, I'm not inclined to do that on my own time. But fans get what the fans want. So if you want it, let me know, and I'll see if I can dig into it a little deeper. So that's all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.